Proving all doubters wrong. Haters had a bad day yesterday. Let's get into it.
Describe what you were feeling, what was said at halftime.
It'd be inappropriate if I said it right here. It would, But yeah, we wasn't really doing anything, to that defense. They was playing great, and that offense was playing great as well. But we wasn't doing our job, with our unit. In second half, we went to putting points on the board, start moving the ball, moving the chains, and start looking like ourselves.
So hey, if you don't know, my name is Keith. I do Black Quarterback Series, and today, if you didn't see my little quick video I did earlier Saturday where I just kind of laid out some of the stuff that I liked about Lamar, go check that out. I am going to leave a timestamp right here. So if you want to just go straight to my predictions, you can go straight to my predictions. So that's going to be right here. But let's get into it. Let's start with Lamar Jackson. 16. I'm gonna do his numbers differently than how I would do it, where I would talk about the passing yards, blah, blah. I'm gonna do all purpose. I'm gonna encompass everything. So he was 16 for 22, 252 all purpose yards, 4 touchdowns on 11 carries. It was just overall spectacular, right? So people were like, oh, he needs to produce in the playoffs and he needs to do this. And so watching this game, if you're anything like me, you was on pins and needles that first half. We like, what's going on? Like, we don't want this to happen again. It was getting really, really close to the point you're like, if let me tell you guys, if he would have lost, I would have came over here and told you guys that CJ Stroud is better than him. And nothing he does in the regular season ever matters again until he at least gets to a Super Bowl, right? But now that he wins, we don't have to have that conversation. CJ Stroud had a great season. I don't have his numbers here, but I put them on the screen. But it wasn't much of anything. Baltimore made him look human finally. Somebody had to this year, and they just couldn't. They were playing on house money anyway, so I don't think it really mattered. But shout out to them. I really didn't like rooting against them, but they'll get to the point where they're the overwhelming favorite, and I'll be hoping they win. But this is Lamar's. I don't know what Lamar said in that press conference, or not in the press conference. I don't know what Lamar said in that locker room, but what he said got the job done. Even him on the field yelling at Stanley. This was the best offensive blocking game Stanley has probably had since that first injury a couple years ago. Because the pullout, and I'm going to show you guys on the screen, I got it saved up and queued. That pullout, they ran the same play. The power to the left side. They ran the power to the left side, and Lamar had a crease, but the crease was filled by Ronnie Stanley not blocking. And so Lamar falls down, gets upset, gets in Stanley's ass, and from that moment on, he had one of the best blocking performances ever. So, hey, sometimes it takes getting into somebody to make them do what you want them to do. They ended up scoring, 20-something points in the second half, and it was just never close. Lamar was absolutely spectacular. The game face that he had on going into the second half, if I can find the picture, I'm going to put it up. Just all world. Just all worldly. I was so happy for him to get that monkey off his back. He's 2-4 in the playoffs now. He was just spectacular. I was so happy for him like I know him. We can put all the Lamar can't perform things to bed. But we got one more game. Well, 2 more games, actually, if they beat Kansas City Chiefs. But we'll get to the predictions in a minute. We're going to move on to Jordan. So Jordan Love played a good game. Obviously, Jordan Love's the future, but Jordan Love made the biggest mistake of the game, similar to Baker Mayfield. We're going to get to him later, too. Similar to Baker Mayfield, where you threw a really, really critical interception when you really didn't even need to throw the ball. You just got to live to fight another day. Yes, I do. He was 21 for 34, 194 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Brock Purdy was 23 for 39, 252 yards, and a touchdown. So Jordan Love played well. He's the future. I don't expect him to get top quarterback money, but he's going to get good quarterback money, and they're going to keep um, elevating, and they're going to be good for a long time, right? Brock Purdy. He did what we wanted him to do. He did lead a touchdown winning drive. If I'm gonna be critical of him, I gotta give him credit where he give credit. I can't be like that. You can watch ESPN if you want one-sided analysis. So Brock Purdy played. I'm not even gonna say well enough to win. Brock Purdy did what he needed to do to win on that last drive. Because all throughout the game, it was like, oh my God, ew. Oof, wow. Ugh, wow. Did not have a good game by any stretch of the imagination, but all that mattered is the W. And they got the W. That run that set them up for the field goal was huge because they got them in better field goal range which they didn't even need because they ended up scoring a touchdown. But that wasn't an MVP level performance. The reason I say Brock Purdy is not MVP is because of games like this. Now, we can say Lamar had a slow start to the season and all that, but the reason Brock Purdy is not an MVP, Christian McCaffrey played really well. He played really well. He had 2 touchdowns of himself. And Brock Purdy did just enough to win. But it's not you're not, like Cam Newton said, you're not finna rely on Brock Purdy to win you a game. Lamar Jackson literally was relied on to win the game. If Lamar Jackson doesn't have 2 rushing touchdowns, rushes for over 100 yards, they don't win the game. And I don't care how good Rowe and Queen was. They don't win the game. I think you put any quarterback in that type of situation, as it comes to Brock Purdy, I think any other quarterback could win that game. You see what I'm saying? But Brock won the game. We can't take that away from him. He deserves his respect, just not MVP respect. You know what I mean? He's not an MVP. He's a really good quarterback. Let's slot him properly. That's all I'm asking. Slot him properly. And so I talked about Baker Mayfield earlier and how he ended up throwing the game-losing touchdown. He definitely did that. He definitely did that. But they wasn't even supposed to be here. So anything they did in this game was just gravy. They played the Lions almost to a draw until some of those critical errors. And what I have on my paper is cream rises to the top. The Lions are the best team out of these two. I think the Lions are probably like the third or fourth best team, or the third best team in the bracket. That's how much respect I have for Kansas City. But the Lions answered every question that the Bucs threw at them. They scored a touchdown, we're going to score a touchdown. Y'all going to make a big play, we're going to make a big play. Excuse me. Y'all are going to have stout defense, we're going to have stout defense. We don't have the talent that you guys have, like Mike Evans in number 88. I don't know his name, but we do have Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I think his last name is Montgomery. He used to play for the Bears. We have these guys, and we have a really good game manager. Like Cam said again, probably the best game manager in the league. Him and Kirk Cousins are probably the 2 best game managers in the league. Jared Goff was 30 for 43, 287 yards and 2 touchdowns. Played well enough to win. They won the game. It wasn't all pretty. And I think this is good for Detroit. They're winning these close games. And I know it's like, why was this game even close? And the Bucs made the playoffs. Baker Mayfield played great this year. Let's throw the records out. They're in the playoffs. It does not matter. Everybody's 0-0. First 1 to 4 wins the Super Bowl. Well, I guess first 1 to 3 if you got to buy. I don't think that matters. They played so well. They played so well. I'm very, very happy for them that they even was here. But the Lions are a team of destiny. Now, I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but they're a team of destiny right now. And shout out to Detroit. So, the piece de resistance, the game of the week, the KC versus Buffalo, Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes, the best game of the week that we were all looking forward to, and it lived up to every expectation that we set. And so, I watched a little bit of Get Up this Monday morning, or Monday afternoon, right? And the fact that RC, Ryan Clark, had to almost bash Josh Allen because they wouldn't hold Josh Allen accountable. It's like, we have to hold Josh Allen accountable. Let's run it through the simulator, I say. Say it with me now. The Lamar Jackson simulator. If you run it through the Lamar Jackson simulator, you're not getting credit for missed passes. They're talking about how you're not worth the money, how you're not accurate, how the defense was able to just spy on you and you wasn't able to make throws. Like, they're saying all this about Lamar. But since it's Josh Allen, it's, oh man, Josh Allen, his defense, and he just, receivers just, it's everybody's fault but Josh Allen's fault. It's Josh Allen's fault. They stopped you from running and you couldn't do nothing else. You couldn't do nothing else. You're very one-dimensional. Like, and it's frustrating to me to see it because if this is any other quarterback, they would be getting roasted right now. But since it's Josh Allen and the media loves Josh Allen, we're just going to act like that didn't happen. And I love Josh Allen. I've called him Cam Newton Jr. And like with this playoff run, he gets that name back. But like, we have to be serious about the situation. Josh Allen will never beat an elite quarterback in the playoffs. With this system that they've constructed, he will never beat an elite quarterback. He's not beating Pat. He's probably not going to beat Joe. They beat Miami, but I don't know if you take that. If they play 10 times, Miami might win 5, 6 of them. He could probably beat Trevor Lawrence, but I'm not sure. We got to see what happens with Trevor Lawrence. But Trevor Lawrence, to me, is not even really an elite quarterback. But neither of the two I just mentioned are elite quarterbacks in Tua and Trevor. But he's like the fifth best, not the fifth. He's probably about the fourth or fifth best quarterback in his own conference. But your conference is stacked: Pat, Lamar, Joe. So your conference is stacked. So, but you got to win this game. I don't care what the defense is doing, because if you'd have moved on, you was gonna play the best defense in the last 4 years. So let's get to their numbers. Josh Allen was 26 for 39, 186 yards, and a touchdown. They had time of possession, and I'm gonna put it on the screen. They held the ball for almost 40 minutes of a 60-minute game. So you had the ball 80% of the time, and you didn't even get to 30. You didn't even get to 30 points. That's not good. That's not good. It was a great game, and McDermott should be fired today. You don't run a fake punt there. Now, luckily, they got the ball back because of the fumble that went into the end zone, and they was able to get the ball back. So that fake punt didn't mean much. To address the fumble into the end zone that I just spoke of, as the NFL, please don't change that rule. Because the defense already is at a disadvantage. You can't hit them in their head. You can't hit them in at the bottom. So you got to find different tactics. At some point, when is it going to end? You got to keep this rule. You have to force offenses to play honest. Because offensive coordinators are just going to say, throw the ball in the end zone. You're not, at worst case scenario, we're going to start at the 1. You don't want that. You definitely don't want that. So they should keep that rule. Also, I think they should keep the tush-push rule as well, because with Jason Kelce probably retiring, it probably won't work as well. So, but let's get to the other side. Oh, before I jump to Mahomes, that kicker is probably never going to play in Buffalo again. The worst words in sports are wide right Buffalo. Up in that part of New York, they do not want to hear no more wide anything. So it's really, really bad. And I do feel bad for them fans. They deserve better than this. But until Josh Allen plays better, this is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to get. Josh Allen looked so good in the first half. And there was pretty much no show in the second half. And we should all hold him accountable for that. And so let's get to Mahomes. So Mahomes was 17 for 23, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. Pacheco was really good. 15 carries, touchdown, 97 yards. Kelce, 5 receptions, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. And they also had the power of Taylor Swift, unfortunately. So they did what they had to win the game. Mahomes been doing this all season. And I think when you're confident against a team, you don't ever feel like you're really out of a game, right? And You don't ever really feel like you're out of a game. But I think they just have this team's number that no matter what's going to happen, we're going to beat this team. It's like when you're wrestling against your little brother. At some point, you think he's going to beat you, but until he actually beats you, you're like, I got it. I got it. They have a better coach. They have a better program. They have a better quarterback. They have better everything over in Kansas City than they do in Buffalo. I think it's time for Buffalo to tear it down and try to figure it. Not tear it down, but go in a different direction, get a better coach, something. They got to figure something out because I don't think Buffalo is ever getting past Kansas City like this. And now you're probably not even getting past Baltimore. So that's all I got for that one. So let's talk about my picks. So we have Lions, 49ers, KC, Baltimore. I called this at the beginning of the year, and I said it a couple weeks ago. I mean, look at me. I want Kansas City in Baltimore for the AFC Championship. I called it. I've been screaming this from the mountaintop since the summertime. This is the matchup I want to see. In order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. And the man is coming in your house, as my notebook falls. He's coming in the bank. What y'all going to do about it? The man is coming in the bank. It's like when Michael Jordan or LeBron James comes in your house in a playoff game. It's going to be a fight. I don't care if they got whoever they got on their team. You win for a dogfight. Now, is the rest of Kansas City ready for that fight? Because I know Pat is ready for that fight. Pat is a gamer. Kelsey's a gamer. But they got a different type of fight with Roquan Smith, Patrick. It's going to be an epic game. And so I can see it being a blowout, especially if the Ravens get a couple quality turnovers and they might get a kick return or something like that, and it starts 10-0 or 17-0. This game can get ugly quick, but I'm looking for a field goal game. I'm going 32-25 Baltimore with a Cal Hamilton pick six to seal the game. So that's what I'm going with that. As far as the Lions and the 49ers, I don't really know these teams well enough. As you know, I don't really cover neither one of these teams. But I do think Detroit is a team of destiny. And I think they're going to make Brock Purdy uncomfortable. The mistakes Brock made last week, you can't make against Detroit. If Brock Purdy makes the same mistakes he made against Detroit, if Brock Purdy makes the same mistakes he made in this game that he made against the Bucs, it's going to be another blowout. It's going to be a blowout, and it's going to be 40, and it's going to get ugly quick. It's going to be 40-17 with 5 minutes to go. So those are my predictions. Really, really great week of football. Happy birthday to my sister today. Well, today is her birthday. When I put this out, it won't be her birthday, but happy birthday to Tanae. And y'all enjoy the games. I'll see you guys next week. Peace. Stay warm. It's crazy in St. Louis right now. The ice and it's just crazy.